Hey guys, Stealth here. Today we're looking at the T-64. This one is in Armored Warfare at Tier 4. It is in Shishkin's line of vehicles of East European MBTs, and you can see that you unlock it from the T-62. Now, the T-62 already was a pretty damn formidable vehicle. It has a lot of armor. T-64 even more so. You can see that the T-62, I'm going to drag these things a bit closer. T-62 has a frontal hull armor of 102. That is more than doubled at the defense rating of the T-64 with 205 frontal armor. 302 turret armor is going to make this thing very, very hard to penetrate. Once these things go hull down, you'd better start looking for another target, because they are just impossible to pen. If you compare that to the 242mm of D62, you're going to see a massive increase there. And even the sides have gotten a massive a massive increase in side armor. 260mm side versus 122. As far as speed goes, the thing is faster, accelerates faster, it has less of a camouflage rating, and it sacrifices a little bit in the sense of vision range. But you're going to make up with that a lot by the pure alpha damage that this thing does. They have an average damage of 477. Of course, this does depend on the type of ammunition that you're firing. And they got quite a good penetration of 222mm. Now, if I'm looking at this tank in more detail, you can see that they do have quite a few upgrades, of which I haven't actually unlocked that many yet. As I go up these tech trees, it's going to be taking more and more and more time for me to start giving you new reviews and new replays, because I simply have to grind these things for myself too. Anyway, the round that is going to do the most armor penetration is the AP FSDS round, of course, with 267mm of penetration. That means, combined with the frontal armor that we just saw, which is 205 for the hull and 320 for the frontal turret armor, that if you put two of these things up against together, or up against each other, and you keep them firing at each other and they're only going to hit the turret, they are not going to pen each other. So this tank is actually one that is not capable of penetrating itself. At least not in the turret. Of course, a whole side side of the turret might even pose a problem for the main rounds, but the rear of the turret and any side of the tank other than the front side is definitely penetratable. Now, other upgrades that you do get, and for me they don't really have a priority, but that's an HE round. The best HE round, as you can see, has pretty decent penetration values of 20mm. With that, you can do 460 damage on one shot if you get a high damage roll. If you get a low damage roll, that's going to be somewhere around the ranges of 377. Personally though, I just fire heat until I encounter something that I cannot really penetrate without switching to the armor piercing rounds. These rounds have a lot of damage. 455 compared to 370. So you get a lot of damage improvement here. Penetration of these rounds is 267, and these heat rounds aren't far behind with 222. Now, one thing that you do need to keep in mind is that while this tank may have a frontal hull armor of 205, it is steel and fiberglass composite armor. And that means that this thing is not going to take full damage from heat rounds. Now, I believe that I can also show you some better armor stats on this unit. And you can see that if I were to fire heat or AP at this tank and it is armored, that armor is going to be somewhere around the ranges of 300mm that you need to penetrate. Now, if I were to take, let's see, SC, I'm not exactly sure, is that a anti-ATGM round maybe? I need to look that up. Anyway, armor penetration towards the side, if angled, is still going to be 247. So you can actually, if you position the tank like this, just bounce rounds off the side of your armor. The turret, if angled well, is going to be very, very difficult to penetrate with that 320mm frontal armor. Now, the other upgrades that you can unlock here is a better engine. a night vision sight, which doesn't actually give you night vision, but it gives you a better view range. A stabilizer, which means that moving and firing at the same time is going to be more likely to actually hit something. And then you have a portrait, a couple of cache packages, as well as, oh sorry, I was going to say an upgrade, but they don't have any of those. So I don't have that much unlocked yet. I was using this tank mostly in PvE to unlock the the Chieftain Mark V, which is something you have to do by bouncing a lot of incoming damage. And the best way to unlock this unit is by using the T-64. Just go into PvE and make sure that you find yourself a nice armored fighting vehicle with not enough penetration to go through your armor. That's the way that I was using the T-64, and that's the way that I found it to be really effective and really fun to unlock the Chieftain Mark V quickly. Now, as far as ammo loadout, I'm using 39 heat rounds because those heat rounds do have very good penetration. If I cannot penetrate anything with heat, I'm going to switch to AP-FSDS, and that is usually going to be enough. And I'm saying usually because, as you've seen, going through the turret of another T-64 is just not possible. Or at least it's going to be really hard to do. As far as crew goes, I'm trying to get these guys to be able to fire on the move as best as they possibly can. So I got Smooth Route, which will improve my accuracy on the move, as well as having a maximum accuracy reduced by 20%, which means that my circle or my targeting reticule isn't going to bloom as much as it normally would. For the commander, I went with Philip. Philip is my main tank commander. He has pack tactics, which increases module damage if I'm nearby allied vehicles. And being a main battle tank means that you're usually going to be with friendlies. I have fire at will, which gives me a better reload when a nearby ally is hit, which is also likely to happen. Bullseye improves my accuracy by another 10%. Fitness training means I have more crew hit points. And I went with fitness training over weapon repair because I don't find that my weapon systems get knocked out very often, if at all. And finally, vigilance, which means that I get a bit more vision range. As far as retrofits go, you got 2 slots. I have only used 1. It's because I was a bit strapped for cash at this stage. But right now I have 1.6 million, so I can actually get it if I wanted to. I went with a firepower upgrade, which gives me 5% more damage. And with this damage, you're going to do even more than the 466 or the 455 here. So you get pretty damn high damage rolls, and then I can go with 1 armor slot, which for now only for me is the internal hull reinforcements, which gives you more hit points. And I'm going to equip that right now. Actually, I want to see if these stats change. Hit points 12, 20. This is also a bit of an experiment for me. Yep, 13, 11. So the retrofits immediately impact the amount of, or the stats that you see here. It's not something that is hidden as it might have been. Consumables, as I mentioned, I'm really only using this thing in PvE so far, but I'm going to do a couple of PvP battles. And a tip that I got lately from armoredtalk.com, which is a blog solely focusing on armored warfare, is to go with some of the more expensive repair kits. Because even if you don't use them, if you don't use them, you don't have to pay for them. So I can just strap on a medical kit, which gives me a passive 15% crew resilience. I can go with an automatic fire extinguisher, which gives me 10% less chance of fire, and if there is a fire, it's going to put out immediately. And I can go with spare parts, which gives my units, or my crew, I suppose you could say, a better repair speed. Now that might be a bit of an investment, but if you don't use these, you're not going to be paying for them. So I think that covers everything. Let's get into a game. You can see that I'm recording this on a Saturday, and that means that there's quite a few people playing, a lot of which are at tier 4. That seems to be where most people are at this stage. Let's see what kind of matchmaking we're going to get with this unit. Only tier 4. couple of OF-40s, which are really easy to pen so long as they're not solely providing their turret to you. Bunch of T-64s, LAVs, BMP-1, Jalo, Swingfires, and a bunch of artillery. Now, what I have noticed is that not many people want to play reconnaissance vehicles, or AFVs. They just aren't that numerous in games. Now, usually on this map you can see a large amount of tank destroyers and armored fighting vehicles over on the right flank. So I'm going to go towards the refinery, which is not the easiest of terrains to fight in, because I still haven't figured out all the angles. And since you can fire through most of the terrain and most of the construction there, it is really tricky to be there. But so long as I provide my frontal armor towards the enemy, I should be able to survive there quite easily. Now, as far as mobility goes, I haven't unlocked the better engine, and you can see that this thing is not particularly fast. Acceleration is okay. It's no armored fighting vehicle, so don't expect it to be. And I think that's justified because it has to ferry all of that armor across the battlefield. Now you can see the usual spread on the map going on here. Tank destroyers and AFVs there, and lighter or medium tanks, heavy tanks, and a Jalo going towards the middle. If you're an armored fighting vehicle and you want to do your tanks a favor, stick with them. We don't have that good optics on our own. So having an armored fighting vehicle nearby to do some spotting for us is really, really helpful. So next time you find yourself in an armored fighting vehicle, please stick with the tanks, because we do need your eyes to actually do the damage that we can do. Now T-64 there, Sheridan, that's the target I want to get, because a Sheridan has very, very little armor and is easy to pen with my heat rounds. T-64, not so much. I think that one's going to be showing its front/side armor to me. Now there's the Sheridan. He is using the dip in the terrain there. I'm not sure where he's going, because he's going right into our T-64 there. He popped the smoke. Let's see if I might be able to get this thing in the side. Not yet. There's the Sheridan. Firing an ATGM. 566 damage. And that caused him to pull back immediately. Because he was firing an ATGM, but I think he reconsidered once he saw that heat round come in and do damage. There's another tank there, which is not going to be that easy to pen, but I did go through, 524. And you can see that this thing just hits like a freight train. The damage that you can do with the T-64 is ludicrous. And yes, I may have gotten some high damage rolls here. It may be a bit unusual to get this high damage rolls frequently, but I found that it is something that this tank just can do and regularly does. Now, also managed to go through the side there, but I got some return fire from that T-64. The thing is, he fired APFSDS, which is less damaging to me. I fired heat rounds, and that did a lot of damage in return. So already with 3 rounds, I did 1,500 damage. I'm trying to get a target there, but not quite. If I can kill off that OF-40, that would be really useful. He's shown me only his turret. Let's see, there is a weak spot on this tank, and it's right above the turret. Or right above the gun. Some incoming rounds there. Not doing too much damage. Didn't go through. I'm going to switch to the AP rounds next. I'm going to keep jiggling the tank around a little bit, make it more difficult for him to hit me. He's not even going for me. Didn't pen him. This guy's playing it really well, because he's making it real difficult for me to actually go through him. And now he's showing the side of his tank, and that's going to be the end of him. Not my kill, but I don't care about that. That tank is a good tank. He bounced off my armor. Now I'm going to try and put one into his side. I did get him, but I only tracked him. Which is fortunate still. And that's going to be slightly annoying. That TD thinks I didn't see him yet, but I did. And unfortunately I missed there. That did no damage. That did some damage. 438. I want to get this T-64 to come around, and now he did some damage to me. But look at the score. He's going to have to start reacting to other units as well. 400 damage there, and if he gets lucky, he could kill me. Don't want that really to happen. Someone else took him out, and that only leaves one tank left alive on the battlefield. T-64, I doubt I'm going to get a good shot into him, but I took 866 damage, dished out 2300 damage. Possibly because I got a really good team on this one. But this is what the T-64 can do, and this is probably one of the lesser games that you can play, because I'm not that experienced with this tank yet. So, let's see what the stats are going to say about this game. I apologize for the loading screen. It usually takes quite a bit for me to load. I do have an SSD, but it is loaded up with different games, and I just don't have any room for it right now. Let's see, 3,100 XP, 88,000 credits. Of course, that's going to subtract a little bit, giving me an 80,000 profit. And as far as teams go, I went second place, and I got the most damage done. Mind you, I didn't fire that many rounds. Let's see if I can see somewhere how many rounds I fired. Shots fired 11, shots landed 10. Not all of those did damage. I think only 5 or 6 rounds actually did damage to targets. Here, penetrating hits 5. So with 5 rounds you can do almost 2400 points of damage. And that is something that this tank really, really does very well. Delivering damage and taking it to some extent. Now I'm going to upgrade the night sight first, because sometimes you're just going to be on your own. And in that case I don't want to have to rely on teammates too much to do my spotting for me. So I'm going to go with the night sight, and we'll take up the engine later. Let's pick another PvP match, and you can see again instantly getting matched. Now as that's going on, let's see what other units I have unlocked. Sorry, didn't go through that too quickly. Let's see about the matchmaking here. It's going to be a bit different this time around. More tier 5s. Tier 4s is the OF40, a couple of Sheridans, a BMP-1. They only got one spotter in tier 4 and one spotter in tier 5. We have a Fox, a BMD-2, and that's the only spawning vehicles we get. We don't have any light tanks, where they do have some. They get a couple of Sheridans there, and they have their Bagel Panzer, as it's usually called. Now, in a map like this, I usually pick a position somewhere around there, because this provides a really nice hold down position, and I know from playing already that hitting someone right there is not that easy. So I'm going to move there, and usually it is the first couple of vehicles that are going to get there that are lightly armored vehicles. So I'm going to stick to heat right now. And as the heavier tanks start to show up there, like the Chieftains, I'm going to switch to AP and hope that I can pen that tank. I don't know what the armor penetration or the armor value is of that thing, but Chieftains are usually really hard to penetrate. And you can see one coming up right here. Look at that monster. 1900 hit points. That's probably going to be one of the new tanks that I'm going to buy. Possibly this weekend, so I can get some games in and do a review for you guys. By the way, let me know how you have been enjoying Armored Warfare. What lines are you going up? How do you enjoy the gameplay? Looking forward to your opinions and how you have experienced the gameplay so far. Bit of a risky move there. The thing I'm trying to do here is only expose my turret. I know that my frontal hull armor is very, very significant, but my turret armor is even better. So that's the only thing that I want to present here, and that's why I'm providing a pretty flat and very difficult to penetrate target from here. And they are telling us to rush, but I'm not going to rush up without spots there. That is a OF40. Something did spot me there.
Identify target.
There's a fox there. The damn thing's spotting me. I really would like to get a shot on that fox and put him on 50% health instantly.
Incoming!
That was to be expected. Been steady for too long. And we got a Sheridan moving about here. The Sheridans pack a really nasty 152mm punch. That was another artillery round that came in from the Gvostika. .460, but I did get hit pretty bad by that Sheridan by a heat round. Missed him. He's pulling back, but I am expecting more artillery rounds to start coming in. It's usually the way it works. BMD here pushing up aggressively, and I'm about to be flanked pretty bad. Now, this is not going to end well. Need to get my hull armor facing the right way. And yeah, that BMD is just going to shoot me in the side. And there you go. My mistake here was being too aggressive too fast, and that got me killed. You can see I took 1300 damage without doing too much, so only 460. The rest of my team here seems to have pulled back, and the other half of my team is pushing really aggressively into this area. So I guess that my mistake here was to be too aggressive and not watch the minimap enough and see where my team was. Those two things can and will get you killed in Armored Warfare. So be careful and always keep an eye out on the minimap. I usually try to do this, but if I have to juggle this many enemy units and try to keep my armor towards them, sometimes I just screw up. So that happened. Anyway, I'm going to pause the recording here and get you another replay soon. Hang on. Now, that was not exactly the best of games for me, but I somehow still managed to get almost 760 XP out of that. Possibly because I was spotting enemies. I spotted, let's see, 6 people, and that resulted in 650 damage done to them. So, I suppose you could say that new upgrade that I just installed may have paid off. As far as damage that I took, 1311, and that means that pretty much every round that hit me went through, because I only have 1311 hit points. So that was a pretty bad match. Of course, I wasn't hoping for any such thing, but it did teach me a valuable lesson again. Don't be too aggressive, even with something like the T-64. You can be quite aggressive if you're top tier, but that doesn't happen that often in an MBT, where say you're the only tier 4 and a bunch of tier 3s. But if you're in a tier 5 match, where you're going up against units like the Chieftain that I was just doing, I was being way too aggressive in that situation. Still, got a bit of XP out of it, did 1 round of damage, so okay. Slowly advancing towards the T-72A. Or sorry, the T-72. Now getting matched up again, joining the match, so it's going to be, let's see, reactor map with 1 tier 5 in the game, Chieftain Mark 5, bunch of tier 4s, and still almost everybody seems to want to play main battle tanks. Now I enjoy main battle tanks, but I am also someone who really enjoys playing the odd one out, so taking the units that no one else really likes. And that could be an armored fighting vehicle, a tank destroyer, and artillery. Basically everything that you don't see that many of. Okay, I have a ton of frontal hull armor and a very good turret armor. So I'm going to move towards this position, Bravo 6, because there on the dam you have some really nice dips in the terrain. And you can actually stick out only your turret and have the rest of the tank be very well covered behind some damn strong concrete walls. The one weakness there is the artillery. If those Gvostika and the 109s do decide that they want to focus there, then that could be trouble for me. I'm hoping that some of the OF-40 is going to take the middle flank, and with that, hopefully I'm going to see some medium and light tanks on the 8 line, 9 line. I've got one LEV with me. Let's see, I think that's the only thing. Which is not that good, because that means that I have the only recon, or the only optics here. Now, there's another T-64 as well as Chieftain coming up behind me. Hopefully those guys are going towards the dam. Okay, the Chieftain's coming with me. That is good news. By the way, the community is pretty toxic in this game, and what I found works best is to just be polite. It may be weird to say that, but I could have gone, noobs, amateurs, come on, go with me towards the dam. It wouldn't have exactly been effective. I asked guys, I need a bit of help at the dam, and suddenly I got multiple people going that way. So I definitely believe in that way of asking for support and not demanding it. You don't have a right to anything in this game. Not even if you have high win rates or anything else, so don't start behaving like it. Now my Chieftain buddy is here, as well as an OF-40. They got one Tier 4 tank, a Tier 3 T-62, and an LEV-300. So let's see if we can push up. The LEV is sticking its head out and got punished for that. We are one big artillery target here with the Chieftain and myself parked right next to each other, though. Okay, let's move up. Chieftain's coming with. That's good news. And there's another T-64 behind me. Going through the OF at this angle is going to be damn near impossible. But like that, and I can do 480 damage while bouncing his return shot. There's still the LEV up there. We need to kill off that thing instantly before he's going to cause trouble. Didn't pen him there. Back up a bit. ATGM coming in. Possibly from the middle. Didn't get that. Incoming artillery. Of course, everybody and their mother is trying to kill me at this stage. Come on, I want the LEV dead. The thing just keeps penning me in the side. Or it has the potential to do so. Didn't pen, but neither did he. Come on guys, we either gotta go forward or go back, but we cannot stay here. Didn't go through. Keep moving about here. Need to zoom in a bit more. Need to do some actual damage to these tanks now. Come on. Didn't go through. That's a bit unusual. I'm not sure if it even hit that tank. ATGM coming in. That's bad news. Now, there's something with this terrain, with this side of the bridge, that's causing all of my rounds to just bounce off. Took a massive hit there. Yeah, okay, we're gonna get the hell out of here. It's too hot. Artillery coming in. Down to 300 hit points. Good thing that that LEV is probably not able to hit me. I would have loved to put up a smoke screen, but this tank is either not or not yet equipped with a smoke launcher. Another bad hit there. And somehow we all made it out alive. Exactly how that worked, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to ask questions. T-64 coming in, artillery coming in, and you can see the round going up there. Now it's time to let them come across this dam. because we are going to be screwed if we try to push again. Come on. Damn it. More artillery's coming in. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt. This T-64 has got to go. Good side shot there. 460 damage. Sorry for blocking him. He's going to kill the chieftain if we don't help him right now. He got him. Okay, that was their main attacker dead. Oh, F-40 tried to put a round into me. Again bounced off. Didn't pen him. I'm going to start switching to AP. I'm not getting enough penetrations on these tanks. Another bounce. Good thing that the artillery is no longer focusing on me. He'd only have to hit me once, and that'd be it. Come on, come out of your hidey hole. Didn't go through. I was fully zoomed in. That thing should have hit. Now it's just us and a bunch of artillery. Got him. Good. That's another heavy tank down. The other OF-40 is on really low hit points. Okay, not as low as I had hoped it would be. If that surviving OF-40, the Apocalypse 2017 there, can move up and flank him, that would be good. But at the same time, these things are going to provide all sorts of trouble for us. Let's see, this tank is pushing. Didn't go through. Let's try not to get killed. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Okay, the LEV's dead. Gvozdika is moving away with a swing fire coming after him. Now that OF-40 at the dam is going to survive. At least ours is. So let's switch back to heat. And try... Whoa, 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 whoa. That is not what I was hoping for. Come on, sunshine, come out of there. I might be able to pen this thing with one round and kill it off. Didn't get him. And this is a situation where heat would, or HE rounds would have been useful. HGM coming in, that's the swing fire right there. And now you can see that that composite armor of me actually saved me from getting killed off. It cannot save me from arty damage. Oh god. They only have the swing fire and the T-64. Chieftain, we're gonna have to move. That OF-40 will capture the base or do damage there. Gotta say, this is some really tight gameplay. Keep getting arty shells coming in. They just have to so much as sniff at us or sneeze at us and we're dead. Both the chieftain and myself. There's the Gvozdika on the enemy team. If we can kill that, that would be really welcome. Identify target. There's the swing fire. Going back. Swing fires have some really, really good camouflage factor. If that thing hides somewhere, the first warning that you're going to get that you're getting attacked is an HGM that's going to be incoming. Okay, somehow they took out our attacking OF-40. Get this guy to come with. Damn it. there's a T-64. And I'm looking at his turret. Let's go for AP. And the next thing that's going to come in is an HE round from the artillery. If he can spot me. There's the HE round. Now I have a bit of a dip in the terrain here. If I can get eyes on the T-64, I might be able to kill it.
Identify.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Didn't get him. Okay. But they do know where I am. There's artillery. Going for the chieftain again. Thing is, I have to expose my side here.
Identify.
The T-64 is, of course, looking at my side. Gotta say, that artillery player is really dedicated to killing that chieftain. And it's only a matter of time for the swing fire starts either capping, in case we lose, or he starts to attack us, in which case we lose. There's the artillery, there's the swing fire. So the swing fire has not moved as aggressively as I would have thought. If he would have been capping, he would have provoked us into retaliating. We'd have to move. Right now, we can just sit here and let it play out into a draw. So I'm not exactly sure what his goal is going to be. Because the swing fire has, as a fighting vehicle, an advantage to capping. So it can capture faster than most units can. Chieftain's moving away. That might be the last mistake he's going to make. Artillery coming in. That might mean he has been spotted. Yeah, swing fire got him. Right. So it's all going to come down to me. No pressure. Been spotted. It's probably swing fire. Artillery coming in. Nah, it's probably gotta be the end of me. Thing is, HGMs, which is the only weapon that the swing fire carries, are really difficult to land. Because you need to keep constant eyes on the target, and I'm not giving him that fortune or that advantage. The one thing I'm worried about is that T-64 just suddenly popping up on my rear, putting one round into me, and I'm done. Artillery going in, missed. Swing fire is just operating as a spotter here. Damn it, T-64 got me. Well, that was a tight game. Hope you enjoyed watching that, because it was pretty intense and I enjoyed playing that. Let's see about the score that I got there, because I'm curious to see how well I did. Of course the loading takes forever again. Well, I still got almost 1200 XP out of that. That's for giving the highest reputation on the losing team and getting the most spots. This is unusual for a tank, because it means that I somehow, as a tank, which is not a unit that's known for its visuals, I got the most spotting, which is usually the task of supporting units like the swing fire, the LAV to some extent, and the BMP. As far as damage bounced or damage taken, I don't really believe this stat. Protection damage received 1311, because that means that I didn't bounce any damage, which I absolutely did. You saw that happen. Still got 54,000 credits from that, with premium of course. And let's see, where's the chieftain? Here's the chieftain. Chieftain did quite alright, but it didn't do as much damage as I would have expected it to. I think it was the only tier 5. Anyway, T-64. In short, it's a really good tank. It has a massive hit, if it can deliver that hit and penetrate with it. And you can see that I did some very, very high damage rolls with those heat rounds. Of course, it's always the roll of the dice. It's called RNG for a reason, so sometimes you may not be able to do that much damage. But overall, I think this is one very, very difficult to kill tank, and I hope that with the replays that I've shown you, or the gameplays that I've shown you, that you have an idea of whether this tank is for you or not. Now, I'm not sure which tank I'm going to review next. If you have any special requests, let me know. I've already had a request for the Leopard 2A5, which, as you can see, is slightly down the line for me. I'm going towards the 1A5 now with the OA40, but before I'm actually at the 2A5, that is probably going to be a few weeks, if not months. So that's going to take a while. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it taught you how to use the T-64 and how not to use it in that one gameplay that I pushed up too far in. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you have any requests for specific reviews, leave those in the comments as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.